I'm an African. I don't apologize for it. You know, on traditional African thinking, there is the important role that women play in terms of building of homes. I have listened and I've watched many times people trying to interpret the African understanding of marital rituals and etc. In a typical African environment, a young man, when he discovers and he thinks that he has become of age, then what he does, you don't just wake up in the morning and walk up to your father and say, Dad, I want a wife. It's very disrespectful. What you do after you've discovered that you have somebody that you want to marry, then what you do, you go to the father's last born brother or your father's youngest brother. You walk up to him or your uncle. Then you tell him that, no, I now want to get a wife. He will then go to his elder brother and report also. The elder brother goes to the elder brother. The elder brother goes to the elder brother. If there are 5 or 6 or there are 10 of them, then they will start informing each other. The process takes quite some time. And finally, the message arrives to your father. When your father hears what you have said, then you send an instruction on the same route. Go and tell him that it's okay. And he sets up dates and the information will come down. This might take sometimes 3 to 6 months when that process is happening. Why is it that we would drag such a process? Because we want the young man to be sure and to be committed on exactly what he wants to do. So it's not just wake up in the morning, you want a wife, and tomorrow morning you have a wife. It has to take time so that you can also be taking your own decisions very seriously. And when you involve other people in making that decision, then it becomes very critical that in the establishment of that home, their very family must be involved the right way. By the time your father gets the message and you also have received the message, then you are informed and you are told of a date when you can be ready to come and deliver the news. When the news has been delivered, finally the family is sitting together, monies are put in place as we are informing one another. We prepare ourselves, therefore, to begin to go to the other family so that we can look for a wife for our young man. Almost similar to what the Bible will be teaching. When Abraham is looking for a wife for his son Isaac, he sends his servant Eliezer to go and work on it. By the time we get on the date, what is critical is not just the family trying to get married. Every African family, when we are marrying our wives, we don't marry them for ourselves. We marry them for the family. We marry them for the tribe. You are not getting married as a woman to your man only. You're getting married to his entire family. In a typical African culture, before Europe and Eurocentric thinking came into place, then the father of the house prepares his cows, prepares his oxen, prepares his gifts, what you might call a dowry price. And by the way, dowry is not a way of buying a wife, it's a way of appreciating the gift from where we have received it. It's actually an insurance policy that we want to take and leave it to the family so that in case there are problems, our child can always have something that they can fall back onto. Our fathers, therefore, would take the cows and walk up to the other family, and as it were, it is the father who marries your wife. It's not you who marries your wife. Your father then pays the cows and receives the wife into his hands. And then from your father's hands, your father then gives you the wife as the first, as your gift in your hand. Very important practice. Because in that case then, when you marry your first wife in our African culture, your first wife is a queen, and you cannot divorce that wife. She is part of you forever. She is the mother of the family, she's the mother of the tribe. You cannot wake up in the morning one day and say, Dad, I want to get rid of her. You can't, because you never married her in the first place. It is your father's cows that were paid so that you can have a wife. And if your father has given you a wife, You as a son, therefore, cannot throw away a gift that the father has given you. If you feel one day you have made enough money and you want to marry another wife, then in that case, then you will have to use your own money in terms of marrying your other wife. But the first wife herself becomes the queen of the house who cannot be divorced. And I think it's quite deep. If there are challenges in the marriages, it is then important that people remember how these homes are created. And if there are any issues, then you also want to find out a method how to resolve those issues within families. The same route that you used going up in terms of preparing for that home, you have to go back again and use the same route so that you can actually have a process of dealing with crises and dealing with challenges in those homes. And I think all of us as young men and some young women, we need to understand the role of our aunties and our uncles in terms of building that home base that will establish our families, so that we can actually understand the base at which we are established. And by the time we get married, you don't live for yourself, you don't marry for yourself, you marry for the entire tribe. And I'm an African. For that reason, I want us to say use the processes, use the structures that are put in place that can assist in terms of dealing with the crises in those homes. That becomes the very good process of how to build long established homes. Build bridges between parents, build bridges between families. Therefore, husbands are but servants in an African space. Women are but the glue that holds the family together. Children are but an inheritance that we find in our homes. And in the establishment of homes, families are put together. And I'm an African, and I respect my roots.